A brand is the identity and the story of the company that makes it stand out from its competitors. It speaks the business values, communicates the products, and what it wants customers to feel when they interact with your business. Like the popular street saying, the difference between bakery and plantain chips na packaging. Welcome to my first ever business podcast. In the studio, I have Mr. Hakeem Akiode, the head of growth and marketing, Youverify Inc. Good afternoon, sir.
Hi, good afternoon.
How are you today?
Very well, thank you.
So Mr. Hakeem is going to help us, give us all the hacks to help us brand our business, give it some, to be looking like we're ready to take over. So Mr. Hakeem, what is branding? Because most of the times when you tell somebody, have you branded your business? What they're looking at is, I've done logo. So what exactly is branding?
Well, quite honestly, they're not exactly wrong when they say they've done logo.
Okay.
It's just the intent behind the building of their logo, the design of their logo. In most cases, is really very wrong.
Okay.
People oftentimes misunderstand or misconstrue what branding is from what marketing is.
Okay.
People often use them interchangeably, and they are very different. A brand is the identity of your business.
Okay.
Now, the identity of your business is in several stages, right? Your brand voice, for example, is part of it. Your logo design, the colors, your font, the very specific icons that you use, and people go as far as patenting some of these things,
Okay.
as simple as your typography, because people take some of these things very seriously. I'll give you a very interesting example. I think sometimes 2020, 2021, I used to work for a fintech called Bachelor, and on our logo we had this padlock icon, right? Apparently, Piggyvest has the same thing. Now, do the padlocks look same? Well, to me, I'd say no, right? They're not exactly the same. Well, I mean, it's a padlock. You can tell it's a padlock. And then one day we woke up to lots of dragging on Twitter. Yeah. And it wasn't from Piggyvest, to be honest. So apparently, the brand designer they had hired to, build their logo saw our logo design and took offense. So he assumed that we probably, copied or took inspiration from what he did, and he dragged the hell out of us. Of course, we didn't respond because it makes no sense to do that at that time. Lots of people came online to say, "Oh, there's some similarities to this thing." Now, the truth is, have we done something wrong? Not quite. But was he very wise to use the icon of another business in the same industry?
Yeah.
Maybe not exactly, right? Because they've gone ahead to establish that as a part of their identity, right? It's not their full logo, but it's a part of their identity. People already understand that when you're talking about finance, and you see a padlock with the blue color, it means Piggyvest. You understand? So you don't care if it is green or purple or ash that is coming after. As long as it's padlock, you copy them. So they already owned that brand identity, right? So for people who do logo, they're not exactly wrong. But the question is, what is it? You understand the details? What is that logo informing at the end of the day? So simply put, branding is the representation of your business. It is the meaning or the feeling or the value, the perception, right, that you want people to have every time they come out. That's what branding is.
So let's talk about the difference between branding and marketing.
I was expecting this question. Okay, so think of it this way. If you're thirsty for cola, which brand comes to mind first?
Coke.
Coca-Cola.
I'll go by Coke, yeah.
Or
Pepsi.
If not Coca-Cola or Pepsi, which other brand would you think of?
Biggie Cola.
Digi Cola. Oh, nice. Our Nigerian brand, right?
Yeah.
That's very patriotic of you.
Mhm.
Digi Cola is a very nice
Yeah.
product, by the way. Now, why I asked that question is this: the reason why you thought of those two brands first, or those two businesses first, is because you already established that brand,
Okay.
right? It doesn't necessarily make them the best cola drinks out there. For example, I came in contact with RC Cola recently, and I loved it.
Yeah.
I loved it, you know. But those guys have built a solid brand over the years. If you think of Coca-Cola, what comes to mind? Happiness, right? And they'll be very consistent. Now, their brand and the perception that they want you to have now informs the kind of marketing campaigns that they had over the years.
Okay.
A typical example, for example, is Coca-Cola, right? Have you ever seen a Coca-Cola ad where Coca-Cola is being shared during a burial before?
No.
Or during a sad activity?
No.
They always want you to associate their brand with
Kindness.
So it is always happy moments. And there was a time when they say, share a bottle of Coke, share happiness.
Even
Right?
added names.
God bless you, you know? And so all of those marketing campaigns are very intentional. It's not somebody did not just sit down and say, let's do this, it should be effective. No, it's actually driven by the perception of the brand that they want you to have.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
So branding is what establishes the brand in your mind.
Mm-hmm.
Marketing is now all the activities that they do to get the customers to walk through the door. So that could include adverts, it could include content marketing, it could include promo. So the whole thing about writing people's name, right, was a way to get to people personally, right?
Personally.
It was a very specific and time-based campaign. Is this still happening right now?
No.
You understand? It was a time frame for it. But all of those marketing activities goes well to one sell to you while also establishing that brand.
Yeah.
You understand? And then there's also what we call the brand voice.
Okay.
A very specific way we like to talk.
Okay.
Let me give you an example. If you see a content written by Apple and a content written by Samsung, do you think you'll be able to differentiate?
Yeah.
Why?
Voice. Siri.
Because at the end of the day, there is this very special feeling that Apple will always make you have, and they are very intentional about it. In 1997, they released this campaign, this marketing campaign, where they say, "This is to the misfits, the special ones, the square pegs in the round holes." Since 1997, they've been telling you this brand is for people who are different.
Yeah.
It's not for the general public. You understand? And so, every time a company establishes a brand first, it becomes very easy for them to have successful marketing campaigns. You understand? Because when I say come and buy, the question of why should I buy is half answered in your mind already. So if I say come and buy Coke, you kind of have a feeling that something happy must be happening. You understand? It's a happy moment. You're celebrating something.
And you want to party, you go buy food.
You understand? So that's the most important difference between branding. Branding establishes you, marketing sells you.
Okay. So what we say is the important, you've add all those things, but no, give us specific. The importance for you to set a brand, because when people want to start up a business, their mind is on profit. I just want to go let this thing bring profit, but they miss building a brand, something that will take them on long term. So what importance is branding?
Very important. Very important. I exactly agree with you. The hustle or the struggle between building the right structures and immediately making money in this part of the world the hustle is real.
Yeah.
It's real. And why I don't exactly blame entrepreneurs for going that route, because the business must survive. But if we want to build businesses that stand the test of time, that last for generations, we really need to take our time when we build structures for them. And the difference is very clear now. Mention 10 Nigerian companies with very solid brands.
I should mention it now.
very solid brand. They exist.
Yes,
you know? The people who have done it well, for instance, is some of our banks. You know, GT Bank, the color, the logo.
First
Sometimes
bank.
the structure is almost the same. FCMB, the structure is the same everywhere. Everywhere, you know. So some of our banks have acted. You know, a couple of businesses have also acted. A lot of tech businesses are doing it also. You know, and kudos to all of these guys, right? They're doing a fantastic job. But the average small business, the average SME, everybody is struggling for money. Everybody wants to make money, you know. And wanting to make money so that the business can grow is one thing. Wanting to make money so that it can immediately ball is another thing. You know, so people must understand that if you want to build something that lasts, you need to take your time to craft. And branding is the first part of crafting.
Okay.
You understand? You know, when God was creating heaven and earth, He didn't do it in one day.
You said
Aha. And He took His time to do it, stage by stage, one after the other. So branding is very crucial. It comes first. And like I mentioned, where people get it wrong is they want to do a logo because it's important to do a logo. No. A number of things must influence your logo. And at the center of it all is what exactly are we projecting to people? When you have that, then you also need to understand who exactly is this brand going to serve. Take a look at Apple, for instance, right? Apple, their logo is Apple.
It's Apple.
Right? Then who do we want to serve? People who are or want to be different from the others. People who like the exclusive. People who like functionality, luxury. You understand? And Apple is not exactly luxurious because it's not the most expensive food in the world. Right? But you always have that feeling of luxury because it is always an exclusive community. So they know that was what they wanted. And so when they started branding, when they started marketing, when they started communicating, you can tell. You understand? It was very obvious, it was very straightforward. It even gets to a point now for, I mean, if I come and post it tomorrow now, and you look at my phone and I'm using Techno, no disrespect to Techno, you probably look at me somehow, especially if you're using an iPhone.
Exactly.
But I love my Techno. You know, it's functional, it does everything right. Techno has to pay me for this hat, by the way. But there is a feeling that people in the iPhone community already have. And that feeling is not a mistake. It did not happen by accident. It was intentional. So, for you as a business owner, what is that feeling going to be for your customers? How do you want them to feel when you come across your brand? How do you want them to feel when you use your brand? A good part of branding that people don't even know is customer service. There are businesses today that I am in love with because of their customer service. It takes a lot for me to give your business ratings and then give you thumbs up. You know, especially if it's on Play Store or somewhere, right? But there was a product I used recently, and I was so angry. I'm like, I need to speak to a customer service representative. These guys will hear it from me today. And then this lady engaged me, and it was Alexandria, you know.
Shout out to Alex.
She engaged me, and I'm like, oh. Now, it's not very straight because we do this in my company. Everybody wants to know who the customer support lead is because she's good at what she does. But away from the Youverify, it's difficult for you to see this also. And then this lady engaged me, and all of my anger melted. And after, she was like, if she would kindly please rate us, you know. And I'm like, for you, I will rate you. I will rate you guys, and I did that, you know. It is also very intentional. How do you want customers to feel when they come in contact with your brand, when they use your product, after they use your product, and more importantly, if they have issues with your product. It will also inform the kind of people that you hire. So you see, if you want to do branding properly, it's a whole ball game of intentional procedures.
Be intentional. So how do you build a brand? You have been talking this thing, how do I now build a brand? How do you build a sustainable brand? For somebody that does have business idea, not even planned, but it just wants to brand his business, how do you do that?
So I think it's actually quite simple, very simple actually. it comes with an obsession to want to do things right. Okay. So it's not enough to just want to build a business or company or solve a problem. You have to think of how best to do it. Am I saying stay in your head? No. Because if you stay in your head, you will never achieve anything. Right? You need to be very practical. But do it with the awareness of what you're doing, why you're doing it, who you're doing it for. Understanding these 3 questions help you to do the following things. So, you want to build a product for university students.
Okay.
So, what age range is they fall into? Right? How do they like to be spoken to? What channels do you speak to them through? And this informs you and helps you to decide on things like, so how best do you package your communication? Do you want to use the normal corporate lingua, or do you want to use some Gen Z party kind of terminologies, right? So that helps you build your brand voice because you know who you are speaking with. Remember, it's easier for Apple because they know they want to speak with people who are different or want to be different. So it was very easy to speak with them directly. In the case where you want to speak with young people, you know exactly how to talk to them. So even if you want to learn from or get inspiration from brands that have gone before you, they're not doing exactly the same thing that they are doing. They're doing it differently because they are speaking, you are speaking, right? And you're speaking to a different set of people and you know who your customers are. So it also helps you when you're designing your logo, for example. You use colors that's very exciting to your target audience. If you want to talk to much older people, they're looking to appeal to much older people. What are you doing with bright colors? You know, they want something calm, something reassuring, right? But if you want to speak with much younger people, then you need very bright colors, you need exciting colors. You want to get them in the mood, every opportunity you have. It also helps to inspire, your channels. So how do you distribute those contents? Right. So see why I said that an obsession with wanting to do things right. That's the only thing that you need to build a proper brand, right? And then you now take some of these things one after the other. Understand your audience, understand your market, and then build some of these things to address them directly. Understand? Don't go through the corners. Speak to them directly, right? And you're on your way to building your best brand.
Okay, so let's come to a startup. Somebody that you just wake up in the morning like this and say last kia. It be like saying Azobo Akoselo. So what will make that person different from the pekere and plantain chips? Somebody came up with, okay, is this thing I can put clip or I can actually make a flyer. So what will you say you can make somebody that wants to start up a business stand out? Like your brand can make you stand out in that industry.
Thank you for that question. You just reminded me of something. Back in the university, there's this friend of mine. And it's more than a friend actually, he's a brother. Osas Chops. Shout out to Osas Chops, by the way. And you have to pay me for this house. He did something that I really loved, and so he started by selling puff puff.
Okay.
Right. But it's supposed to have different flavors. So he has actual puff puff. Then there is spicy puff puff. And there is cocoa puff puff. Puff puff mixed with. So he has cocoa flavor. So if you are eating it, it has this chocolatey kind of taste.
Okay.
But it's puff puff, and you'd love it. And then I think he had like 3 to 4 different kind of flavors, right, of puff puff at the time. And it was great. So he stood out automatically because puff puff before then it wasn't something that we bought on the road, time. And then this guy will package it, and today he does it with huge events for businesses. Osas now had a friend. To be very honest, if I see this guy tomorrow, I'll most likely not recognize him.
Okay.
But Osas has a friend, his nickname was Aboki. And Aboki started selling Zobo.
Oh.
So they called him Aboki Zobo.
Okay.
Osas chops Aboki Zobo. We usually buy them in pairs. Now, one of the things that really help you stand out, and it's also a part of your brand, is your packaging.
Yeah.
And your packaging is not just the design or your digital asset, your bottle, and this is for like physical products.
Yeah.
So if you see a Coke bottle anywhere without the label, you know it's a Coke bottle.
Yes.
If you see a 7-Up bottle without the label,
label,
you know it's a 7-Up bottle. And these brands take these things very seriously. You understand? So you want to stand out in every way possible. And it also includes how you take your product to the final consumer.
Okay.
In what medium you take it to them. So one of the things that some of these brands also do is to make sure that their packaging bottles is very different, it feels different. So when you see it, you recognize it, you're excited. You want to grab it and open it as soon as possible. You understand? So these are like very intentional strategies that people put in place. So for the very small businesses, the question you need to ask yourself is, how do I also package myself in a way that is different? If you are thinking the Coca-Cola way and it's giving you headache, remember I was asked chops.
Yeah.
And what you did.
Okay.
If everybody is using nylon, use Ziploc.
Okay. Yeah.
If everybody is using Ziploc, use branded Ziploc.
Okay.
If everybody is using branded Ziploc and your product is very good, consider using transparent Ziploc. You understand? Find something
Different.
that makes it different. When these guys came to the market, Chowder, food deliveries were being handed to us in nylons.
Yeah.
But what did they do? They came with brown bags. You understand? Brown paper bags. Now they might have had other things that informed that decision. No, you cannot lie that it was. You cannot lie. It was different. It was special. Like, bro, do you walk me by? I'm so sorry. For those who do not speak Yoruba, it felt special. It felt different, and everybody wanted it. Everybody wanted it. If you're carrying a package in that shape, everybody knows it's food that you want to carry.
Yes.
You understand? And because it's exciting, people cannot see the content. Nobody can guess what you have bought. You know all these food deliveries now, the nylons will even be transparent.
Yeah.
You can see that this guy ordered Chicken Republic. But with them it's not the same. Nobody can see the content of the brand.
Yeah.
Of course they know it's food.
They know it's food, the shape.
That brand, that packaging is very much childish. You understand?
Yeah.
But nobody can tell what the content is.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
that was different. That was very different. Now, is it food from the same vendors that's on other platforms? Yes. But the way they have decided to take it to their final consumer was really different. So it doesn't matter if you are selling the same thing that everybody is selling. The question is, how do you want your customers to feel when they eventually get it from you?
Yeah.
Think about that. Think for a way to make it better, and you will stand out.
Think what people think. So let's go to using platforms to brand. So is it advisable that all your platform has the same thing in it, or you just pick, like, communicate to your brand according to the platform that you are placing it on?
The same people on. You saw how I just said. No. This is a very very important question, and I think people must understand. The same people on Instagram are on LinkedIn, and they are on Twitter.
Okay.
On Instagram, they'll post pictures. Everybody likes. They are angels. On LinkedIn, they told professionals. Share a story about their struggle and their wins, and everybody's inspired, goosebumps everywhere, thumbs up and all of that.
Okay.
Then they go on Twitter and they become demons. They are dragging.
Like,
shout out to my Twitter people, by the way. I have a Twitter account, but I don't think I've
posted anything.
I just like to observe and learn from people. And there's a lot of things to learn on Twitter, by the way. Great people to follow.
Yeah.
But the average Twitter user is a crazy person. Covered by social media.
Okay.
Because you're just 2 seconds away from getting the life dragged out.
As in, don't.
Now, why was it important that I do all of these distinctions? Because so that people know that the character of people differ per channel. And so you must understand that how you communicate in those places. If you want to be engaged, if you just want to be there, to mark attendance. Okay. Today I posted
that I have social media page.
You don't have to care about these things,
yeah.
right? But if you want to be, if you want to maximize those channels, they must really understand the people there, what ticks them, what inspires, what makes them react, and how best do I take advantage of that. Right? It's why you realize that on Twitter, especially when a particular conversation is trending, or when someone is in the limelight, brands jump on it. Remember Mobizi now?
Yes, so
before you know it, Infinix says, looks like you took this picture from one of our devices. How would you like this? Yeah? Pull up man says, oh, you're using our bank to collect all this money. We'll double what you have.
Yeah.
You understand? That is very synonymous to Twitter. It rarely happens on Instagram.
Yeah. Nobody sends.
It
Like
happens on
on
LinkedIn. On LinkedIn, everybody is a superstar.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
On Twitter, people can I send my DM in the comments, my answer in the comments section. Yeah? And on Instagram, everybody's trying to be as rakish as possible. So when you understand this, it helps you to understand, okay, on Twitter, on Instagram for instance, let us post more visually appealing content. On Twitter, people don't really care for your design much. Engagement, how do we get people to talk? On LinkedIn, this is where you have to be as professional as possible. Again, depending on what you sell, not all channels are.
Okay.
Sometimes people misunderstand that. You don't have to burn energy and resources approach all the channels. So typically what I would always recommend is first doing a little bit of an experiment. Try to know what works for your brand, what channels work, based on what you are selling. Where are your customers? You understand? Now put more resources into that channel. So if it is Instagram, hire a very good graphic artist, a motion designer, people that can do very gang content for you. And then take some of those things and put it there. You see a lot more results. If you take those things to Twitter, you might see results, but the day Mommy Z starts to trend, nobody will send you.
As in
nobody will send you. You will not be as though you don't know how to do it anymore. You understand? And if your brand is one where conversations help, you understand, being conversational help your brand to do better, then you want to invest a lot of resources to actually build a Twitter account. So, get people who can actually help to drive conversations on that platform. So that's the first thing you need to do. You understand? First know which one works for you. When you do, now put some resources. I'm not saying neglect the rest, no. But you are just maintaining them.
Like doing a skill of work.
You understand? Customers might come from there, definitely. So you're not abandoning them. You will maintain them. Pareto principle now, 80-20. You understand? So you put 80% of your resources in channels that work. The remaining 20% is spread across the channels that do not really work, but can work. You understand? And that's the best way to go about it.
Okay, so now let's do some words that are suited with branding. I'll just ask you, then you explain, because
I hope I don't fall your hand.
We'll see our head of marketing. It's time to defend your name. So let's say when you talk about brand,
is there a back door? I'll just escape from the back.
Thank God you were in close the camera. So when you say brand awareness, what do you mean brand awareness?
I think it's self-explanatory awareness. So it's the first step. It's the first step for any company or brand or businesses or whatever you are. People must know you first.
Okay.
Right. So there's this marketing rule of 7. Right. I'm not sure a lot of people are aware of it.
Come and sit there, school.
But it basically states that people must have seen or heard about you at least 7 times before they make a decision to buy. So it is rare that you see something for the first time
just buy it
and decide to buy it. It is rare. But you see it first time, second time, by the 3rd time you are interested. What is this thing about? People are just bugging you. And then you realize, this thing makes sense, so I don't have the money I beg. But little by little, it is seeping into your subconscious. The day you do have the money and you see it again, you buy. You understand? And when I see communication these days, especially from very new companies, it's almost as though they want to say, no. Now, does it happen? Yes, it does happen. it does happen that sometimes you run an ad and people who need it come across it. They find it exciting. Right? But averagely, you carry a new product in your hands. As someone in this market before. Then you enter Ojuelegba. And then you see people come and buy. What are the odds that you will sell all the copies within that in your first day? Very slim. People also need to understand that it's very important. So when it comes to brand awareness, it's the very first step. It's the act of calling people's attention to what you are selling. Now, and in fact, at first, it should not be to what you are selling. It should be to who you are, to what your brand is, and what you are aiming to do for them. And then when you now launch your product that you want to sell, you still do the same. As in, now that you know who I am, come and see what we are selling. Understand the problem we can solve for you and how we can make your life better. I'm not exactly saying you should come and buy it now.
Just
know
see
about
me.
it. So by the time you now say come and buy, you already have people who are interested. Some companies also do this, but they don't know what they are doing. You've seen waitlists before now.
Yes.
Yeah. So the people have already created awareness about that product to say we have something coming soon. No, it's not here yet, but it is coming. We can do X, Y, Z for you, to give you money, to find you wife, to buy you car, to give you home. Your life will be set.
Okay.
You understand? But it's not available yet, so put your email and phone number here. When it is available, we'll reach out to you. People do that. That process is basically, you're basically creating awareness for that product. And then when it now comes, and then you now sell 1,000 copies in one day. One year, Shukra sitting somewhere with like
Juju.
Oh no, you're a Yahoo boy. Is it that easy? Nah, you've done the first. You've created awareness before you start to sell.
Okay, thank you very much. So the next one, we talked about it, the brand identity. So that's what I'm talking about. So we can just keep that one. Okay. So now we can be.
Of course.
So now let's go to brand management. How do you make sure that you don't deviate from what you've created originally?
This is probably the most difficult part of it all. Really. This is difficult. It's difficult because the people who will manage your brand, or the most important asset rather that you need in brand management is people. You understand? The people who will project the brand, who will carry it. Yeah, you most likely not see somebody working at Apple behave a certain type of way. For instance, you not see somebody working at Apple come and drop Azar or Twitter saying anything for the boy. I'm not eating the boy.
Yeah, exactly.
You understand? You most likely
because you're working in Apple.
And so it's a whole lot of different things that go into managing the brand. So you've created all of these exciting things. Now, how do you pass it down to the people who will be the custodian of that brand? People you hire. So it starts from what type of people do you hire? Are they people that fit into what your brand stands for? Or they are people that will kill it at the end of the day? For a lot of people who go to job interviews and at the end of the day, it feels like you did everything right and they still didn't hire you. Sometimes, or a lot of times, this is why. Some people will tell you, we're sorry we cannot hire you, not because you're not good, but you're not a culture fit.
Okay.
You understand? In most cases, when they build an organization to preserve who you are as a company. So if you go to banks now, many banks are mostly clean-shaped. You don't see behavior.
Oh.
You understand? There's a way they dress. There's a way, if you see lawyers outside, even if they are not wearing their robe, right, you can almost tell that this person is a lawyer because of the way they dress. And then when now engage the way they speak, the accent comes into place, and the pride comes into place. Even law students say sometimes you'll not be able to tell that they've not graduated yet.
The law.
No shades anyway. But you can almost tell. And it's a great thing if a company can operate. So I think the most important thing to do really is to get the right people, then train them. Right? And then you're now building your plans, your strategy find a way to always align it. You cannot say your brand is, will help people share happiness. And then you're now doing campaign for you're doing marketing campaign for, you have to be very intentional. Obsession on the part of the founder, or the management is very important. You have to be obsessed with what you are about. Now, are there people who do it and still kind of fail? Yes. There are lots of reasons why businesses fail. But if you do it and you succeed, just think of Apple. You don't need it. Think of Apple, think of Coca-Cola. You don't need a lot of examples. When companies stick to it and they break out, they conquer territories. They conquer the world.
Yeah. So let's talk about the last one. I'm not asking, don't worry. So now we're looking at brand extension. Because one thing is you built in Surulere. Now you've grown, you want to go to Yanipaja or you want to go to the mainland. How do you do the brand extension? Roots.
Okay. I'm a little bit confused by the question.
We're looking at expansion now. Okay. Expansion.
Yeah. So
you're
growing, or
you're growing now. You're moving from a location to another location. The mentality I have in Surulere of people that you were selling to in Surulere, they're totally different from the place that you're going to.
I think I understand your question. So when your business expands, or when it scales from one geographical location to another, it still doesn't change your mind. What will change? Not change. What you will modify is how you communicate in your new territory. I'll give you a very typical example. Now, you probably don't notice, but I'm very happy to share it here for free of charge. So, Indomie, fantastic brand.
Yeah.
Fantastic brand. So fantastic that if you want to go and buy noodles, even if it is not Indomie, you say you want to buy Indomie.
Yeah, exactly. Driving me Indomie.
Now, Indomie did well in the Southwest. And they had a lot of campaigns that was targeted at the people who actually buy. So who buys the mother now? They take the decision for the kids.
Yeah.
So they go to the market, they buy food stuff, they buy noodles for the kids, and the noodles was the everybody's fine. It was why, and this is why Indomie is very important about their marketing style. So when Indomie wants to market, they are very intentional about keeping the mother and the children individual. Mama too do, you understand?
Yeah.
It was the kids, they're excited, it's their product, it's their food.
Yes.
You understand? But who bought it? It's the mother. Who made it? It's the mother. So something exciting for the children, but it's celebrating the mother.
Yeah.
So both the person buying and the person that will chop it at the end of the day, he had his for them.
Yeah, exactly.
Very intentional. It didn't happen by chance. Now the shocker. Indomie went to the north with the same strategy. Do you know why? Because in most parts of the north, there's a culture shock to some of us who come from the south. You will not find a lot of women in the market buying.
Wow.
They do. But for a lot of families, the women are protected.
Okay.
You understand? There are cultural, how do I put it, guidelines that protect women in that part of the world. And so you see men in the market buying the food stuff. Men make the decision as to, but they don't do the cooking, but they decide what we eat. You understand? And in most cases, they are the ones who go to buy. So in the north, they were targeting a lot of their communication to the women, like they have done in this part of the world, in the southwest. And it wasn't working. And they started asking themselves, why is this thing failing now? So they went back, okay, who are the final consumers? The kids. But who influences the kids? The mother. In this part of the world. But when you go to the north, who are the final consumers? The kids. But who influences what the kids eat? The father. And the mother. So the mother prepares it. But the father mostly buys it. So the father has a lot more influence over it. But how do we now do Papa to you know, they can't necessarily do that. They have to come up with new strategies to ensure that the men are
Get the
carrying that.
idea.
So how do we sell some of this? How do we sell this idea to the men? So they went back and they were now creating communication that was very specific to the northern region. In the north, people like to eat together.
Okay.
So we put the food together, we sit together around, and then we eat. There's a lot of advantages to that,
Yeah.
no love, no communal loyalty, lots of things, right? So we started using all of those things to form their new strategy. But the most exciting strategy I like about it all, I bet you are not aware of it.
No, we are.
The shy spots.
Oh, yeah.
It didn't happen overnight.
Mm-hmm.
It was intentional.
Yeah.
So they use some of these guys to push. You know, when Indomie first got there, here, Indomie was a meal. There, they were taking Indomie as a snack.
Yeah.
You understand? They just take it, open it, and just crunch it like that. And sometimes some people even put it inside milk and eat it like that, like it's carry. But Indomie needed to communicate the fact that this thing is a meal.
Okay.
And so they started tailoring their communication to bring people together in a family setting to eat Indomie together.
Yeah.
You know, during Ramadan fasting period, we put special communication to say, when you break your fast, Indomie is a meal that you can actually eat. And then they now use those Mishai spots to actually push Indomie out as a meal. And it goes so successful. Mishai spots is all over the country.
Yes, exactly.
You understand? And so, they were able to do that because they paid a lot of attention to the fact that it is possible that what we've done here might not work.
Okay.
Did they change their brand? No. Did they change their story? No. Did they change their brand voice? No. But did they alter communication? Yes. It is not the way you communicate to Spanish people that you communicate to French people. And then when you're now also going to different territories, understand that the way of life of people there differs. If I go to Admiralty, it's one. It's way out.
Everybody push.
If I come to Mushin and I go and package anyhow, they'll pick all my pockets because they'll think that they're on finish money someone. So you need to be able to adapt to the new territories. Speak their language. They say when you're in Rome, you behave like speak the language of it, and they'll buy from you.
Oh, thank you so much, Hakeem. Thank you very much for this section.
Welcome.
I learned a lot. I hope you did. If you did not, something's wrong with you.
I didn't say that. I didn't say that at all.
So finally, what advice would you give to a startup that is trying to brand his or her business in Nigeria? Let's use Nigeria for good.
Okay, so be obsessed with what you do. Be your brand. Be obsessed with your process. Be obsessed with doing it right. Understand? Don't cut corners. Don't be in a hurry. If you're in a hurry, you will garbage in, you will garbage out. It's a race to the bottom. There's no point. Understand? If God took his time to create men, and some of the most beautiful inventions in the world also took time to create. Take your time to make your craft. Be obsessed about satisfaction. And I think you will. Finally, it is also important to understand that sometimes you do not have the skill sets to do these things. It's why professionals like
Yeah, of course.
so reach out, ask for help, pay for experience, consult people who are coming for you. Learn from other brands. Don't copy them. Learn from them, and then tailor that communication to your own audience, to your niche. And I think you'll do fantastic.
Thank you so much, Mr. Hakeem. As he said, pay for consultation. Pay. You can reach out to him on his Instagram page and across all social media platforms.
Everywhere. Facebook,
Hakeem.
LinkedIn, Twitter,
Hakeem
Instagram.
Akiode.
Akiode.
Akiode. Let me not scatter someone. Jesus Christ.
Don't worry, I forgive you. I forgive you.
Till next week, guys. Thank you for watching. I hope you learned one or two. I hope you learned a lot because I did. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel at My First Step TV. Till next week. Peace out.
Bye everyone. Don't forget to subscribe.
Bye.